Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to give you some gifts. This is the season. This is Christmas week this week, and many of us are celebrating some kind of a special holiday and family get-together during this time of the year. It is certainly the season of Thanksgiving and joy and love and gratitude, and we just want to express our special appreciation to all of you, just subscribers and viewers and everyone who has helped us build our YouTube channel into the success that it has become. We are so thrilled and very, very grateful to have such a wonderful learning community where we all share our knowledge together and help each other be successful in preparations for whatever might be coming our way. So what Jim and I have done over the last few months, we have been thinking of ways that we can express our gratitude to you. And so we have put together a couple of free downloads for you. And I want to introduce those to you, and they are not new information. The first little download is a booklet on the art of making cheese with powdered milk. We did a series of videos on this topic, and I had some handouts. And as I went back to those handouts, I just actually sort of cringed because I felt like some of the directions weren't as easy as they could have been. And so I went through and redid all of the directions. And now, instead of having to download that handout, you can just download this little booklet. It has an index for you. Find out which cheese you want to look at. Plus, I have added images to help you understand, and the links to the videos that go along with this. So this is the first free download, is this little book on cheeses. Then last year, well, spilling into the previous year, we did a series on wonderful, marvelous, fantastic beans, where we featured several different types of beans and gave some recipes for each one, either 2 or 3 recipes, depending on the beans. And each one of those beans had a separate download, and those downloads are now going away on our website because you can now download the booklet, and they're both free. These are free gifts for you. And I have done the same thing. It has a nice index here. I've just taken material that we've already put out, and I have just spiffed it up a whole lot, given you lists of videos that you can check on and information. And now the recipes include pictures to help you see, along with links to the videos where the recipes can also be demonstrated. So this is our bean book download now. And so we're really excited for you to go to our bookstore. And link is under the description of this video. And so you can go directly today and download those books. They've been posted since midnight, and they will be a permanent part of our bookstore. So please enjoy these and add them to your collection. So before I go to the third thing, I want to remind you about our classes. We have now, I think there are 12 classes there. The very first one we did was apple pie from scratch, which if you are wanting to have a little lesson on how to make pie, I give the recipe for my all-time favorite pie crust that I've been doing for decades, that is practically a no-fail pie crust recipe. And there's a video that we've done on that already. And that shows you how to do pie. And then down here, we have Make Ahead Holiday Foods, and there are lots of ideas there for how you can save yourself some of the tedium of preparing holiday dinners by doing some things ahead. All right, now on to the third thing that we have for you today. And that is, you may remember that we have been talking about a book that we have been working on for several months. And we really did put a lot of heart and a lot of effort into this book over these months. And I tried to convince Jim to come in front of the camera today, but he's just more comfortable behind the camera. And I just want you to know that his effort here was as much as my effort here. So we have a dual authorship on this book. And this is our long-awaited Dutch oven cooking when it counts. And today and tomorrow, this is also in our bookstore, and it will be for 20% off as we launch this new book. I'm really excited about this book. We learned, I think the reason that this was such an excitement was that we learned so much in the process of doing this book. And it's not just the content of the book, but it was the experience of cooking with Dutch ovens day after day after day, as if we were having to do that in order to survive. If the grid was down long term, what would it feel like? What would we have to do? How would we have to prepare differently than we just have thought about? Well, if this is going to happen, then I think that I'll do it this way. Well, we actually lived it while we were doing it. And we didn't cook Dutch oven every single day, but we did, over the course of several months, have 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row where we did all of that cooking by Dutch oven. And it was such an eye-opener as to what it might feel like if we have to be using our Dutch oven cooking. And we now highly, highly recommend that part of the redundancy systems that we all have for cooking off-grid, that we absolutely include charcoal in our food supply, along with a variety of cast iron cookware, and particularly Dutch ovens, because they are so versatile. So here is our Dutch oven cookbook. The first part of the book, the first 18 pages, give the introduction, and we talk about basic information, and we have a list of things that equipment that might be handy for you to have on hand if you're going to go in. I can use every one of these pans inside my Dutch ovens for baking, so that was a lovely discovery. We have tips for caring for your Dutch ovens, and I'm not going to go through this page by page, talking about charcoal, how to calculate, easy way for calculating charcoal. And we found, as we were doing this every single day and got better at figuring out the charcoal situation, we found that some of the charts for charcoal that are published online don't really fit what really worked for us. And so we have shared what worked for us, but what worked for us may not work for you, because there are so many variables when you do off-grid cooking, particularly with cast iron. And so it might be a really good idea, if you are interested in this and want to do a little practicing, to spend a weekend or a week doing only Dutch oven cooking or cast iron cooking on some kind of a heat source outside, so that you can get the feel of what it might be like. We learned a tremendous amount about different types of charcoal and which worked best for us, and we have all of that right here. This page, which used to be in the back of the book, but Jim thought, no, don't put it back there. That's after they've gone through everything. Put it right up front. This is a list of some of the lessons that we learned by doing it day by day by day. And I was a little bit surprised, because I've done a lot of Dutch oven cooking, but the mindset is different when you are having to depend on it in order to eat. And so that's kind of what we felt as we were doing this. So it's divided into several sections. We have a few breakfasts, and this is what is this called? Puffy oven pancakes worked really, really well. One of the things that we tried to do was focus on ingredients that we have in our level 1 food storage. And for the most part, we did that, but we also learned that we need to add some additional ingredients. And we encourage you throughout the book we took regular recipes, not the kind that you might take camping, although these could be used for camping. But sometimes camping with a Dutch oven out is a special time with special ingredients. And we wanted to know, what recipes could we use whose ingredients are readily storable within our food storage. And so we have a selection of breakfasts right here. And this one was especially good. And so we have pictures of what it looks like while it is cooking, and then after we've plated it. The next section is all about soups. And this was a chicken noodle soup, and I made the noodles with handmade noodles. And it turned out okay. It was certainly edible, but I'm going to be storing a little bit more pasta, because these homemade noodles, as no matter how thin I rolled them, they turned out to be a little bit thick. But you know, now I know that, and so we can dedicate time to figuring those things out and adding things we need to our food storage. The next was side-by-sides, and I'll tell you, every time I look at this potato, my mouth just waters. That was probably the best baked potato I have ever had in my 81 years. Cooking baked potatoes inside a Dutch oven, I don't know what it was, but boy, it turned out, it was just a regular old russet potato. And it turned out so soft and fluffy, and so that was great. And this is some butternut squash that we grew this year, and so we had fun with that as well. For the rice, we also gave several variations, because there are a lot of things that we can cook that put over rice. Well, you can cook rice in a Dutch oven, and there are several variations that are included in the book. So this is our selection of main dishes, and this is only a few of them. This is a lasagna, a couple of chicken recipes, and several other things that were really good. And of course, we liked some better than others, and we had a lot of leftovers. In fact, our freezer is still stacked with leftovers. And so we would just freeze them and put them right out there in our level 1 food storage. In fact, yesterday's dinner was, oh, the picture isn't here, but it was chicken pot pie. And so that's one I chose not to, and it was just great a second time. So we're still eating the things that we cooked for this cookbook. Then we have a bread section, and I talk about bread right here, and then I also give directions on how to do the stretch and fold method for if the grid goes down and we don't have electricity to run our stand mixers. This is what you can do instead. And so there are a couple of pages there. But this is Hawaiian rolls and cornbread and pull-apart bread. This is our seeded bread. And this, I think, was 50% wheat, 50% white. All of those were baked in our Dutch ovens. So next is for the sweet tooth. And I baked a pumpkin pie. I baked an apple cranberry pie. This is a little 8-inch or 9-inch pizza pan. And so this is a giant cookie. And this is a Neiman Marcus recipe that I adapted for that. Ooh, it is so good. I think you will enjoy that recipe. So that's just a quick run through of this book. We think this will be a wonderful addition to everyone's library in terms of preparing for uncertain times. And we have learned how important it is for us to store bags of charcoal. And even though we have this really nice fire pit, some of the recipes, we built our fire pit just as we were finishing up this book. And I think maybe 5 or 6 of the recipes in the book were we cooked out there on our fire pit. You'll be able to tell by looking at the pictures. And we know that we can burn wood in that and burn it down into coals and use those coals. And that's a possibility for us. That's part of our redundancy plan for Dutch oven cooking. But also it's very nice to have bags of charcoal ready to go for, who knows, a 6-month supply, a year's supply, but we always watch for sales on those. And when we find them, then we buy some so that we can have a lot of storage of charcoal. So happy holiday, whatever it is you celebrate. Merry, Merry Christmas. We just appreciate you so very much. The bulk part of our days are spent on videos and writing and researching and answering questions. You are very much a part of our lives, and we just appreciate you so much. So we hope you have a wonderful celebratory holiday season, and thank you so much. And we'll be back soon with more videos.